You ever feel like we're just spinning our wheels on huge global problems, like the solutions we come up with never really get to the heart of it all? Well, what if the answer wasn't a new policy, but a whole new operating system for humanity itself? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical proposal that wants to build exactly that.
So, the whole thing kicks off with this really powerful idea. It argues that the biggest issues we're all worried about, climate change, social division, they aren't actually the real problems. They're just symptoms of something much, much deeper. A fundamental dysfunction in the way our society actually works.
And this reframes the whole conversation, right? We pour all this energy into fighting things like climate change, conflict, and division as if they're all separate battles. But this proposal says, hang on, we're missing the point. The real root cause is one single systemic failure, a kind of sickness in the system that just keeps spitting out these symptoms over and over again.
Okay, so this underlying dysfunction, it traps us in what the proposal calls a negative spiral. It's basically this vicious cycle where we can't see how all these problems are connected, which means we can't make any real, lasting progress. We're just stuck.
Yep, we're just applying Band-Aids. Our solutions are only temporary fixes because we can't actually map out how one problem leads to another. It's like we're fighting hundreds of different fires without ever dealing with the arsonist, which is the dysfunctional system itself. And that just leads to paralysis, It shrinks our ability to grow and move forward.
So, what's the cure for this disease? Well, the proposal outlines something truly massive, a brand new digital foundation for our entire civilization, and it's called the social operating system.
So what is it exactly? Okay, imagine a single digital platform. It's built on top of Google's incredible AI and uses the visual interface of Google Earth that we all know. But here's the kicker. Its purpose isn't to sell you stuff. It's to pull in data, analyze it, and then show all of us, everyone, how we're doing as a species in real time.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. How on earth would this actually work? The technical side is, enormous. But the concept boils down to three main steps. First, the system would pull in data from our everyday lives, all the small positive actions we take, captured by our phones and sensors. Second, a powerful AI would crunch all that data to find those hidden connections between what we do and the big global problems. And third, and this is the really cool part, it would visualize all of our collective progress as one single simple number on Google Earth, a global improvement rate that anyone, anywhere could see.
And we're not talking about just another app here. The vision is for a whole new digital infrastructure for civilization. It would be the first system ever to actually try and quantify things like our collective creativity and cooperation. It makes your personal contribution visible. And it could do amazing things like, for instance, instantly connect a farmer reporting a water shortage with an NGO that has a well-digging solution just a few miles away.
But how do you actually bridge that huge gap between one small individual action and a real global impact? Well, this is where the whole concept gets really personal.
Think about it. Every small positive thing you do, whether it's a local cleanup project or you develop a new sustainable farming method, it's no longer just an isolated event. In a system like this, it becomes a data point that feeds into the global picture. It creates a visible ripple effect that you can actually see and feel. It makes what you do count. And this right here, this is the feedback loop that would drive everything. Can you imagine looking at Google Earth and seeing this number tick up, even by a tiny fraction of a percent? That number would represent the sum total of humanity's positive efforts at that very moment. It turns the fuzzy idea of making the world a better place into a concrete, shared, and super motivating goal.
Now, obviously, a plan this huge can't just start everywhere at once. The strategy is to begin with the innovators. The proposal identifies them as about 2.5% of the world's 5.7 billion mobile users. That's still a target market of over 142 million people. And it would start with environmentally conscious communities and organizations, people who are already fired up to make a change.
And look, this isn't just some sci-fi fantasy. There's a practical roadmap to get there. The proposal actually lays out a 5-year plan to take this social OS from a big idea to a global reality.
So let's just walk through it real quick.
Year 1 is all about proving the concept and getting a core team together, including experts from Google. Year 2, you're building a prototype and training leaders. By year 3, you'd be running simulations and trying to get international buy-in at places like the UN Climate Change Conference. And then, finally, years 4 and 5 would be all about the global rollout, making it a core piece of our digital world.
To pull something like this off, you'd need some heavy hitters. The proposal identifies partners who bring a really unique mix of skills to the table. You'd need Google's Moonshot division for that crazy technical ambition, the Melinda Gates Foundation for its global philanthropic reach, and experts from TOCICO, that's the Theory of Constraints International Certification Organization, to provide the hardcore methodology for solving these super complex system problems.
So what's the ultimate vision? It's not just a new product. The source material frames this as a genuine moonshot for humanity, a project so ambitious it could actually redefine our future.
And this is a direct quote from the proposal itself. The argument is that because of its existing tech, like its powerful AI and Google Earth, and its global reach, Google is really the only company that could lead this charge. It's an opportunity that nobody else could even try to replicate.
And beyond the huge mission, the proposal makes a really clear business case. It argues this would create an entirely new market, human growth technology. I mean, a project this inspiring would be a magnet for the absolute best talent in the world. And ultimately, it would solidify a legacy for the company, not just as a tech giant, but as the architect of humanity's next great leap.
So, we're left with this massive question. Is a project like this the key to finally unlocking our collective potential and solving our deepest problems? Or is the idea of a centralized social operating system for all of humanity just a utopian dream that kind of overlooks the messy, complicated reality of our world? That's definitely something to think about.